With the recent scares about drinking water quality in many American cities, do you ever wonder about what's in your drinking water, both tap and bottled? Pregnant women and new moms may have additional concerns about their drinking water and its effects on their unborn baby and the rest of their family. Here now with some more insight on tap and bottled water is Natural Foods chef, New York Times bestselling author, and Emmy award-winning television host of The Chew, Daphne Oz. Daphne, thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Thanks for having me, Tina. Good morning.
Now, this is definitely a situation that affects all of us. So why is it that you think that people are really so concerned with all of these kind of headlines that have been out there?
Well, I mean, I think it's a great thing that we're concerned. I think it's a great thing that we're being trained to be conscious consumers. And that's certainly in our food. We want to look at our nutrition labels. We want to turn around the packaging and have it clearly obvious to us what we're actually putting into our bodies. But look, a lot of us are turning to water more and more for the bulk of our hydration, which is a great thing. Again, fewer sugars, no sugars, less contaminants, less, additives, things like that. And we should be just as concerned about making sure that the quality of our water is as good as we think it is. Now, the reality is a lot of us go to, tap water, no labels there. And I think for a while we just assumed that was clean, but then obviously what happened in Flint and beyond, I think people are now concerned about what's in their tap water, and they should be. And likewise, bottled water isn't always necessarily the safest option, or it isn't always necessarily as clean and pure as you might think it would be. There's a new study out from the Environmental Working Group. They're talking about a big study they did of all these different water sources throughout the U.S. And what they found is that in more than 40,000 of them, there were harmful levels of contaminants, things that could lead to cancer, potentially developmental defects. Like, that's something that as an expectant mom, I'm paying really close attention to. Fertility problems, if pregnancy is on the horizon for you and that's something you're even concerned about. And the one contaminant they were highlighting and paying really close attention to were nitrates. These are something we heard a lot about in the food category before, but not in our water. And I think that's something that this study highlighted because it's the most common groundwater contaminant, and it is something that can lead to, for those moms out there, blue baby syndrome. That's something that I think is going to ring a lot of alarm bells. And it's just a matter of being aware that it could potentially be in some of this water that you think you're doing the right thing by drinking. You think you're making the right choice, and then it could be a little bit of a scare there.
So exactly, since we're talking about these labels, what exactly am I looking for?
Right. Well, that's part of the concern, is that in the U.S., bottled water isn't required to label if it has nitrate content in it. So as a concerned consumer, or just someone who wants to pay attention to that, the only guaranteed way you can have of making sure that your water is nitrate free is if the company has gone to the lengths to say on their packaging, guess what? We are nitrate free, sodium free. That to me makes it easier on you, obviously, and is one of the only ways you can actually guarantee it. And I'm partnered with Carpatica, a brand new brand to the U.S. Because, again, it tastes delicious. Obviously, as a chef, that's number one concern to me. But it's also something, a brand that has gone out of its way to say nitrate-free, sodium-free, and they have a naturally sparkling water that is one of the only brands that is completely nitrate and sodium-free in the U.S.
Well, and I feel like we've already learned so much from you right now, just talking about the fact that, what's in the water, what we can do to avoid some of those things. And we were talking about pregnant women, new mommies to be, and all the harmful things that can come with that. But I'm sure there's so much more that we can learn about healthy ways. Is there somewhere we can go online to learn more?
There is. You can head over to aquacarpatica.com. That'll tell you a lot more about what could potentially be in your water, how to make sure you're making the safest choice possible for your family, and of course, where to buy some of that water too.
Well, Daphne, thank you so much. And of course, we'll be looking for you on The Chew today. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Tina.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.